There we go. So let's let everybody unmute themselves. Let me see how we do that here. There must be a way to do that. Ah, no, that's not it.
I think I'm unmuted.
Ah, I found it. I found it. There we go. That should allow you to unmute. But you probably have to do it on your own. Yeah. So if you would like to ask a question or make a comment, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Dr. Joe, I was curious about the Zen Golf app.
The Zen Golf app. There's a company that called Swing U that offered to create an app for me. And so what we did was put in and they have a lot of other people in their master faculty that they've created apps for. Mostly they work with swing instructors, so mine's a little bit of an outlier on that. There is a forum, but really the forum is mostly, I watch tournaments or I have lessons that I've worked with, and then I post, I video a little bit of it and then post a comment about that. The main section of the app really is the library, and that includes all of my audiobooks broken into individual chapters. Plus, I think we have, we're going on 100 videos. I think we have 50 or 60 of them up now, and we're going to be adding them. I went out to Connecticut where the company was based, and we went out for 3 days of filming and did all new videos. So these are different than the video collection that I did many years ago. That's our update. So the app basically is access to that library. As far as individual coaching, I don't do that through the app. That's basically you get in touch with me or Ken in the office by email and schedule a session. And that's how we do our sessions that way. Ken, did you have anything else to add to the app?
I think you nailed it.
Okay. And there are always bugs, so we're continuing to work with those. And we'll see what happens with that. If it, you know, it's an experiment, and it's been running for less than a year. And we'll see how it goes. If it works, then we'll continue to add features to it. If it doesn't work, we'll just be posting all of the material in a different way that people can have access to, like our Listen, Watch, and Learn program that we used to do. Okay? Any other questions? Well, I thought I'd share some things from some lessons that I've done recently. As Ken knows, because he's my scheduler, everything moves in waves. Everything in the universe moves in waves. So I go for a long period of time without a particular kind of question that comes up for students, and then suddenly there's a flood of them. And recently it's been, excuse me for saying the word, the yips. And I've had people with full swing, with chipping, with putting. I think it was a year, at least a year before I had any requests for this. And what have we had, 7 or 8 in the last 2 months? It's amazing. Maybe it has to do with the anxiety level of everything in the COVID era, but we've had a lot of that. And the main thing that I am able to communicate to people. And oh, by the way, Ken, you don't even know this. I had a lesson on Wednesday at the Ojai Valley Inn with a member from an LA, a club in Los Angeles. And he had both putting and chipping. Yes. So we had a 2-hour session, and I just got a text from him last night. He said, it worked. I shot 1 under. I played 9 holes and shot 1 under par.
Wow.
So that was pretty fun too. I said, I always like success stories. I had another, then I have a lot of junior golfers who are seeking to go to play on college teams. So I had one, and really what it came down to, the only time he had a bad shot was when he really didn't feel comfortable over the ball and really couldn't get committed to the swing that he had planned. So I said, if you really, really can't get comfortable, you got to step out of there and make a new plan. And that brought to mind an old song by Paul Simon. And I said, you're probably too young for this. But I said, you know, make a new plan, Stan. and he said, don't be so coy, Roy. And I went, all right, this is great. And we went through a couple more, and he said, you know, and then it ends with, and set yourself free.
Yes.
And he went, oh man, that's great. So he's going to sing just the first line and then the last. You know, he's going to, when he's uncomfortable over shot, he's going to step out and say, make a new plan, Stan, and set yourself free. Get off the bus, Gus.
Yes.
We have all of those lines.
Oh.
So that was so much fun doing that with him. I wanted to share that with everybody.
Oh, right.
And then the recent wave has been preteen juniors.
Mm.
So yesterday I had a lesson with the cutest 8-year-old. And we did full swing, and we did putting and chipping. What I noticed on her full swing was, and she has a beautiful swing. I wish I could swing it now like she does. She's great. She's well over 3 feet tall. I mean, she's really tiny, and so she's making these beautiful practice swings, and she hit a couple of good shots, but a couple of them I noticed that at the top, at her transition, she gripped the club tighter and swung down harder at it than in her practice swing. And she got these low left shots. I said, you know, I said, how is that? Did you really like it, or did you really not like it? And she said, in the middle. And she was so smart, just perfect, because I have 3 different categories for post-shot routine. If you really liked it, and I taught this to her, reinforce it by saying, that's how I always hit it when, and then add in something you did in your pre-shot. You know, like when I connect with my target and commit, or something like, when I visualize and trust my swing. Something like that, non-technical.
Mm.
Then when it was in the middle, she said, oh, it was in the middle. I said, so what I want you to do is say, well, that was close, and then make another swing that you wish you had made, and replace it with a good swing. And then the last was, when it's really bad, know that it was something that you were mistaken thinking about it.
Mm.
And just forget about it, and make that replacement swing and go on. So she really liked that. And I noticed that thing about the tension on those in between, on those not so good shots. And so I did a grip pressure exercise with her. And and this is really amazing. I've done this a lot, especially for putting, but this was for the full swing. I held the club very, very softly and had her pull it out of my hands. And I said, that's very light. Then I held it really tight, so when she pulled, it pulled me over.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, that's really tight. And then I held it in between so that there was some friction, but then it came out of my hands. And I said, can you do it like that? And the interesting thing, when people pull it out of your hands and experience that, they can, I think it's the mirror neurons that function in your brain that can mirror that. They almost always get it exactly right when I then pull it out of their hands. And I tell them very light, very tight, and then in between. So she got the in between. I said, okay, so here's your goal. I want you to make your regular, your real swing at the ball with the same in between grip pressure, not too tight, not too loose, that you make with your practice swing. The very next shot, beautiful and straight.
Ooh.
And she went, oh, that's so nice. Okay, so that was great. And then we did a little putting. And so I had an 8-year-old yesterday, and then tomorrow I work with an 11-year-old. So those are the range of things. And I was with her mom, and here's this little girl, and she's putting, and she's rolling it pretty good. And we work on holding her finish and keeping her posture, something I try to teach to everybody. And she rolls these beautiful putts. And her mother says, what do you think about her backswing? And I said, just stop that. She just rolled these beautiful putts. Don't get her thinking about the technique things. And I very politely asked her mother not to wear the coach's hat, but to only be a cheerleader. She said, okay. First I checked, I didn't assume. First I checked and I said, are you a LPGA instructor? She said no. She laughed, I said, then don't do the coaching. Just be a cheerleader and trust when you take her to her swing instructor and take her to me that we don't want to do too much. So that was helpful to her. And
good.
Well, I don't see Hope on the call. Hope Oakes came out to work with me a couple of weeks ago. And so we went over a lot of things that were a lot of fun. And one of the things I wanted to share with people was the way we worked with bunker shots. And this is something I learned from my dear friend, Ray Carrasco, who is, he teaches at a club called Shady Canyon in Irvine, California, just south in Orange County, south of Los Angeles. And he's the best bunker player I've ever seen. In fact, he defeated Gary Player in a bunker contest that they had. So he's really, really good. And what he said, which was very helpful and insightful that I shared with her, was ironically, in bunkers, you want to make what a regular swing instructor would say is a bad swing. You want to swing outside in instead of inside out. And you really want your right hand to take over and flip the club under the ball and pretty much hit a kind of scooping shot. The opposite of what you would think, what you would hear from a swing instructor about your regular. And so for her practice swing, I had her stand outside the bunker, which is where you have to take your practice swing. You're not allowed to hit the sand in the bunker, but go through the thick grass just with her right hand, just swing with her right hand. And when she gets in there, hold it firmly in her right hand and think the left hand is just along for the ride. And she hit these great, great bunker shots. And it reminded me to do the same thing for myself. And I hit better bunker shots than I've been hitting. We forget these tips. And it just works so great. And the only other part of it was something that I also got from Ray, and that is, as the club is going through the sand under the ball, think of it as the club head as a match head, and you're striking a match on that strip of a matchbox. Like that strip is in this underneath the sand, and it's about the size of a good-sized matchbox, and you're striking the match underneath. And that keeps you from decelling and leaving the club stuck in the sand. And that's for your basic bunker shot. Now, there is a shot in the bunker where you do want the club to stick in the sand, and that is when you're on a steep upslope and the ball is kind of buried in the sand. You basically want to just stick that club just under the ball in the sand. But in general, you want to strike that match through underneath to the finish. So that was a fun thing that we did. The other one that we did was fairway bunkers. And it's a total visualization practice. There are different things that are taught about what to do in a fairway bunker, and keep your legs quiet, but instead of that, get it, firm up your stance a little bit, but basically pretend that it's a tight fairway underneath and see green under the ball. Because when you're on the fairway, you want to hit the ball first and then the grass. You don't want to hit the grass and then into the ball. So, and in the bunker, you want to hit the grass first, not the sand into the ball. So it's really no different in the sense that you're trying to swing down past the ball and take your divot after the ball on the fairway turf. So you just pretend it's sitting on grass. And she hit these two beautiful fairway bunker shots, and she said she'd never hit before. So it's a very transformative kind of visualization. But you have to really commit to it and to the visualization. Really see it as green under there. Otherwise, you're going to try to pick it or scoop it or do something that's going to be counterproductive. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions come up? If people, I think I've allowed everybody to unmute themselves. So if you'd like, just find that microphone picture along the bottom or side of your screen and unmute yourself and go ahead and ask the question. Don't be shy. Now, Jenny has unmuted yourself. So Jenny, I'm going to call on you.
Well, I've been unmuted for ages.
I know.
I just love listening to your stories. I think they're brilliant. I think I've asked all my questions over the previous weeks.
So tell me something about your last round of golf.
My last round of golf was on Tuesday evening, and we have a 9-hole social at our club, and I got 20 points, and I played off the whites. They were mostly men. Well, they were all men except for 2 of us ladies. And we both hit quite a long ball. So just for a laugh, we said, "Oh well, let's have a go." So we played off the whites, and
now, you'll have to explain to others what points mean, because it's not very common in the States.
Oh, isn't it? Okay. Well, it would be the men's tee to you guys.
No, points. You got 20 points.
Oh, they were 20 Stapleford points.
That's right, Stapleford.
Stapleford points.
And Staplefords are set up a little differently in different places. So how many points did you get for a par?
Well, if I had a shot on the hole, I would get 2 points.
Net par.
A net par, I'd get 3 points.
And a net bogey?
I would get 2 points.
And a net double bogey?
1 point.
Now that's net, right?
I get confused with net.
Okay,
so
net.
I got this wrong.
All right. Okay, so net means you change the score. So
if it's a par 3 and I get a shot, then that would be 4.
Right.
It'd be like a par 4.
Right. So
on those, I would get 2 points.
Right. But if you made a 3, that's like a net birdie, and that's you get 3 points, right?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
got a 4 on one because I did really well.
and that's an eagle.
Yeah, I drove the green on a par 3 and putted in, and yeah,
So
I was in
you
heaven.
made a 2,
Yeah.
but you got a stroke.
Yes.
So that's a net eagle. Congratulations. That's great.
Off the men's tee.
There you go. That'll teach you.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
was good.
So that's great. So that's 20 points.
20.
And it's a great way to play because it gets you not so fixated on the score and the numbers that way. The other point system, and this is what I encountered with, believe it or not, with the 8-year-old, that her father was very concerned about her score, that for 9 holes that she should, on a par 3 course, she shouldn't shoot no, it wasn't a par 3, like a regular golf course, but from her kids' tees, that she shouldn't shoot higher than 40. He was concerned, and I said, well, I'm going to have a talk with him. But instead of thinking about your score that way, I want you to count up the ones that you hit that you really liked the way you hit them. You get a point. If you really liked it, you get a point. Mm-hmm. And your job is to maximize your points. Now, the reason this point system works so well is because you're thinking, okay, I'd really like to get a point for this shot. So it's not the overall score for the hole. And it's your own standards. I'd like to be able to give myself a point for this shot. So it makes you prepare better. So I'm going to do, you're subconsciously thinking this, sometimes consciously, okay, what do I need to do to prepare the best I can to get a point for this shot? And so your preparation will be better. And again, that if you're worried about how it turns out, that's going to interfere. So you get to say to yourself, I'm not going to worry about how it turns out. I'm going to play the shot. Oh, and that reminds me of something else I did with Hope that I've done before. I also did this with the actor Anthony Anderson. And it came from a lesson I had with a guy. He came to Ojai, and he kept just hitting these kind of push slices off the tee. Just these weak push slices. Mm-hmm. And I said, what's going on? Why don't you just let her rip? And he said, well, these Pro V1s cost me $5 a piece. I said, he said, that's why I've been making these kind of guidey swings, kind of just trying to guide it out there so I don't lose the balls. I said, okay, first of all, you're paying me a lot more than a dozen Pro V1s for this lesson, so really. So this is what I had him do. I said, this is what I want you to do. And you need to mean it. I want you to walk up to the ball and you need to say, I don't care if I never see you again. I am going to make a free swing. And I said, you got to be willing to lose the ball. He said, okay, I'm going to do it. And he walked up and he said, I don't care if I never see you again. I'm making a free swing. And this powerful draw showed up. He said, where did that come from? I said, that was there all along. You just wouldn't let it out.
Ah, yeah.
You just kept holding back and being all guidey. And so I did that with Hope, and she cracked up. And she said it reminded her of this old TV show with Jackie Gleason and Art Carney, where Art Carney is trying to teach him how to play golf, and they're reading the instruction book, and it says, now address the ball. He says, what does that mean? He says, I think I know what it means. He walks up and he says, hello, ball. Okay. So Hope and I had a laugh about that.
Oh,
But she did it, and she, again, same thing happened.
yeah.
She was hitting over this ravine that we have at the Ojai Valley Inn, like ones you see in the picture there.
Oh,
And she said, "Can I carry this?" And I said, "Well, you can if you don't worry about carrying it."
yeah.
So say, "I don't care if I never see you again," and pow, over the ravine it went. So it was great.
Oh, it's lovely.
Okay.
So, what is the golf?
And I love Peter's comment. He should shop at lostgolfballs.com. That's right. Yes, it is easier if you tee one up that you really don't care if you lose it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
Rocco wrote,
Joe,
okay.
which golf club are you at again?
I'm at the Ojai Valley Inn.
Oh, hi.
OJA. Ken, can you type that in to everybody?
When I come to America, I shall come and see you.
Okay,
like to do
sounds
that.
great. Sounds great. Ken's going to type in the name of that. And while I read Rocco's, I'm working on hitting the fairways off the tee. On the range, I hit it more straight. Not on, and on the course, I tend to slice it. Hey, what did you think of that story, Rocco?
Yeah.
Can you unmute yourself?
Hi, OJAI Valley Inn Spa Resort. Thank you.
Are you there? Oh, there you go. What did you think of that story, Rocco?
So I like the story, and when I let my swing go, I hit a booming slice that goes a mile into the woods.
Oh, when you really, now.
When I let it
Now, so how do you hit it straight on the range?
go, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Okay, so the one you described is probably your 100% swing.
Yes, probably.
Now, most amateur golfers who think they're swinging at 100% are actually swinging at about 120%.
Okay.
They're overdoing everything and just trying to hit it a mile. Okay. Now the pros actually swing at 80%. So for them, and so when I work with amateurs and get them to swing at what feels like 80%, that's when they do their just 100% swing. And so recently I've had a couple of students that I've taught this. It's a technique from Fred Couples that I learned from Fred Couples. And that is now Fred can hit the ball over 300 yards with his driver. But he would practice making slow motion swings with his driver. Not partial swings, not halfway back, halfway through, but all the way back, all the way through with his driver, but only hit the ball about 120 yards. Now, for Fred Couples to do that, he's got to be swinging in a tremendous, like about quarter speed.
I think my take back is slow.
Well, hang on one second. But that's the overall swing. And so it may be that you have one of those slow takebacks and then jump at the ball. So what we're looking for is a consistent pace through the whole swing.
Yes.
Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, but that slowly. So I want you to do it and try to only make a full swing with your driver, but the ball only goes 100 yards.
Okay.
Now, what you'll feel is your sequencing. You'll feel how your lower body moves, how your upper body moves. You'll feel the swing and be able to see the swing path of your driver. And so you'll be able to make slow motion corrections to how it and make it feel better. Then you gradually pick up from 1/3 speed to half speed to 2/3 speed. But you never swing more than 80% speed. Okay? So if you do that, what will happen is you will make better sweet spot contact with your driver. It'll come in more square, because if you're slicing, that means you must be cutting across it. That's what produces a slice, right? That's what, if you watch tennis, they said, oh, that's his slice backhand. He's not hitting it with overspin, he's cutting across it with underspin. That's slice spin. Okay, so you'll feel that. You'll make much more solid contact straight down your swing path. You'll make it on the sweet spot of your driver, not out to the toe or the heel. And hitting the ball in the sweet spot rather than even a half-inch off gets you more distance and more ball speed than additional 4 or 5 miles an hour of clubhead speed. So if you slow your clubhead speed down, but make more solid contact, you will hit the ball farther because you'll have more ball speed. Okay, so all of these things will work together. And then finally, that's the part about making a swing that's going to be more helpful. Now, the other thing that will help with your slice, actually it'll help with your swing path. When you look at the ball, think that you want the driver to contact the ball just slightly inside the back of the ball. I'll try to show you with this. This is a bottle cap, not a golf ball, but okay. So if you're swinging in this direction, okay, you want to make it hit just there instead of right in the middle. That's the side toward you. You're swinging from over here. You want to impact it right there, just to the side of middle, not right at the middle. Okay? I hope that, then you know you're going to be swinging slightly more from the inside to square, not inside out necessarily, but inside to square. Now, the last part is your expectations of what's going to happen. So if you're worried about it going one direction or the other, you will hold back and get guidey through it. And you won't know what your real swing is like. So you've got to make do it on the range where you say, I am having no expectations of where this ball is going to go. Aim at a target for your setup, but then say, I'm going to swing and see what happens and learn from it. And if you free it up, then you will reveal what your actual sequencing and swing path and club motion is. Then you can work on it. But until you make that swing with no concern for outcomes, you won't really know, because it'll have an overlay of compensation and protection and holding back, or trying to help it do something or prevent it from doing something. Okay? So that's always the case. Any kind of interference and worry about outcome is going to show up as interference in your swing by either trying to help it do something, prevent it from doing something that you don't want it to do, or just a general holding back out of fear. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Joe.
All right, everybody. Great to see you. Thank you so much. And not next week. I'm off next Friday, but 2 weeks from today we'll be back on.